Before we get started, I have a bonus for you. Your first CEU from this season of School of Speech is free. Visit speechtherapypd.com to enroll in an episode and use the code SOS25 at checkout. Now back to the episode. Hello and welcome to School of Speech, everybody. Woohoo! I am your host, Carolyn Dolby, and this week we have Jennie Belen with us talking about a very hot topic, artificial intelligence. So get ready. We're going to find some ways to save some valuable time because we all know the burnout is real. So buckle up for some actionable strategies to harness AI ethically and effectively. Now remember that this episode is worth 0.1 ASHA CEUs when you complete the accompanying course on speechtherapypd.com. All right, let's go. On with the interview. Hey, Jennie. How are you?
Hey, I'm awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to share everything with you today.
Me too. I am going to give a little bit of your background and then I want your journey. I hear you are a wife and mom of two, and that you have been a school-based SLP for your almost your entire 28-year career. Is that right? Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Wow. You've worked with ages 1 to 21. Definitely as a bilingual Spanish SLP. I love the fact you were a CF supervisor. We just had an episode with my bestie talking about CF supervision. So that's really great to hear that you've done that. You've recently launched your SLP business sharing about AI tools and time-saving resources for SLP. So we are so excited to have you. Why don't we get the party started? Well, actually, you get the party started. How about that? I want to know your journey. How did you become an SLP? What's your journey? And how did you get into AI?
Okay, so, my journey started in high school, believe it or not. I was 17. I was not planning to go to college. That was like not on the horizon for me. But I was a pretty good student, and my high school counselor pulled me into the office and was like, "Are you not going to college? Like, what's going on?" And she kind of gave me a career book, and I started flipping through it. And I was like, speech language pathologist, I'm going to make $37,000 a year. I'm going to be rich, right? What did I know? I was 17, right? So that's how I picked my college in the area. And I went undergrad straight into speech and language pathologist, undergrad program. I was basically the only minority at that time in that program.
Oh, wow.
Which was very interesting. And then from there, I ended up getting married, having babies. And when they were 4 and 7, I went back to grad school. And I got my master's at Nova Southeastern University here in Florida through the online program. I did my undergrad at King University in New Jersey. And I went straight into the schools. I did do some internships in hospitals, but I really, really loved the school setting. I love the kids. I just love the school setting so much. And I got the opportunity to work in the town where I grew up, and I did a lot of bilingual speech therapy with communities in New Jersey when I lived there. And then a few years ago, we moved to Florida, and I'm still a school SLP here. And then I got started with AI. It was last fall. I saw a teacher who now I'm friends with. She's a Canadian teacher, and she was sharing AI tools for teachers. And I was like, there has to be AI tools for us too, right? So I started doing my research, and I started researching, and I put together a guide, and then I put together some prompts, and then I started sharing on my Instagram profile or page, and it blossomed. I had like 20, 30 followers, and then it just grew from there. And then someone recommended me to Speech Therapy PD from there. Like, what if somebody from my SLP community was like, we found this person, you need to have her on your courses or present for your courses. And here I am.
That's right, because I hear that you are part of the lineup for their Spring into Learning conference that starts on Sunday, y'all. So you're getting a sneak peek. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And if you want more, there's going to get to Speech Therapy PD's conference this Sunday. It's called Spring into Learning. Super excited for that. So yeah, this is sort of your amuse bouche, shall we say, before that. I love it.
Yes.
So you're saying that you had a friend that was a teacher that was doing AI for the teachers, and you're like, hey, let's see what we can do to help out SLPs. So where did you go from there?
So I started thinking about the fact that there are a lot of, unfortunately, people leaving our field. I see it in groups, how burnt out they are, how tired they are, how big the caseloads are, how much work we have, how much the workload is weighing on them. And I was like, I want to find solutions for them, right? So I started researching specifically for that, tools that were going to save them time, that were going to just give them shortcuts while still doing it ethically. And so I started researching. Like I said, I created that guide, and then I went through each tool that I created, that I researched. I started sharing specific things about the tools and how they could use them. And that's kind of where we are now. I'm still doing the same thing. A year later, I'm still kind of doing the same thing. I'm still researching, I'm still sharing and updating it. Like I just updated my AI guide because I took some off that I was like, these are not so awesome, but I found some really good ones that I added on as well.
So I do know, well, I am going to ask you where we can find this AI guide. Is it something that we can access, or is this a...
Oh, yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay. Maybe I can get that in the chat, how we can access that. I do know that I think one of the biggest concerns people have with the AI is that they really worry about the ethics side behind it. What do you say when people are like, oh, I don't know, where does that fall within our ethics?
Okay, so I had a lot of pushback in the very beginning. I had one video about using AI for IEPs, and I had a lot of pushback from older speech therapists, some parents, but it was mostly other peers, about how unethical it is, how if you use AI, you're lazy, and things of that sort. So I pretty much explained, like, you definitely have to be careful with what you're using. You want to make sure that you are looking at ASHA's code, whatever they're our code of ethics there, and check what their stance is on that. Check each tool that you're using, their terms of use, if they're HIPAA approved, things of that sort. And I never, ever, ever use any identifying information, because any tool that you use, we should not be using any, I can use John Doe, or Mary, whoever. But nowadays, it literally says student. Like they have caught on to that, to the fact that, like, I just will put a student this and it says blank or student and then the information. And then the other part of that is, don't cut and paste. Do not cut and paste. I never cut and paste. I mean, if you're talking about like a sentence or a paragraph story for therapy, that's one thing. But if it's like for an IEP or a progress report or things of that sort, never cut and paste it. You're going to want to make sure that you're looking at it, you're tweaking it, you're making it sound like you're making it specific to that student. Because my biggest comeback to them with their ethical things was, because they were saying, you're giving them solutions to take our jobs away, or a way to take our jobs away. And my biggest pushback was, no one can replace us. We are human. We have that connection with our students, and we know our students. Like I make sure I'm connected to each of my students. No AI machine or whatever can replace me or the connection that we have as humans.
Right.
That was my main thing to them. And then whatever else I said, and also as SLPs, we follow a code of ethics, and it is up to us to do the right thing as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think all of us are going to say, yes, I have some templates that I use that, let's say you're doing an FIE, right? We all use a template. So we do not want to reinvent the wheel every single time we're using maybe the same assessment tool. So we have blurbs that we use, but we have to always make sure, because there's nothing worse than when you start reading your FIE and it's for Carolyn and they kept saying he, right? That's on
Correct.
that's right. So we have to have that I. And so we have tricks that we've used before AI. So when you're saying the cut and paste doesn't work without you really going through it, it should be a jumping off place.
Correct.
Right.
And that's what I always tell them. This is just a jump start to writing something. For example, I am a speech therapist. I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm not a good writer. And I personally hate writing reports. I don't like it. That's one of the things I don't like to do. We all have something in our job that we don't prefer, right? Yes. That's not what I prefer to do. So that's perfect, because I can just put in information about my students into this AI tool as detailed as possible without giving it their name or any identifying information. And it helps me start writing what I need to write. Or even emails or a newsletter or, an email to a parent. It modifies it and enhances what I already wrote as well.
Yeah, I definitely use it. And a lot of times for like writer's block, for a lack of a better word, but just to get you, like you said, get you jump started, maybe gives you a word that you were looking for. I have a real big problem with word finding as I get older. I'm finding it more and more. I mean, it happens on the podcast for me all the time. Like, I know what I want to say or what I want to ask you, and then I know the word, but I don't know the word. So it's really nice, like, to have it kind of I don't have anything pre-generated, but if I'm using it for like an eval or an email, kind of getting like, oh, here, this is what I want it to say. And then it might give me a word that sparks like, yeah, that's the word I want. But yeah, what are some other ways that we can use AI definitely for report writing and emails, kind of some writing. What are some other ways that we can use AI?
So many things.
Yeah, right. I know.
So many things.
Did I just open a big can?
Yes. So planning, making materials, coming up with ideas for, like, today I was setting myself up for the Sunday course, and I was looking up something to record for them, and I recorded social stories, creating social stories for our students, and creating pictures to go right along with it, and creating this specific to that student material. I had a student, I do telehealth as well this year, and I have a student that could not focus, didn't, just was all over the place. And so I made that connection with him first, and I realized, or I found out, that he was obsessed with hockey. Hockey.
Hockey. Oh, like ice hockey.
Obsessed with ice hockey and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
So I made materials that I was emailing to the school, and they would print them out with those things so that he would be interested in what we were doing, right? So I love that you can create very specific to their goals, to their interests. You can create paragraphs loaded with their sounds. You can write goals that are specific to that student. You can write the present levels of an IEP. You can create games. There's one AI tool that gamifies things, and it'll make a bingo or Jeopardy style game, things of that sort, or Battleship, I think it has as well. You can create social media posts if you have. There's a lot of SLPs that have Instagram or social media platforms that they're trying to grow or have businesses, etc. You can use to design pamphlets or flyers, like I said before, newsletters, emails. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There's a lot of things, but I even tried it out to write, because I get a lot of questions about templates for like the Goldman Bristol, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, let me see if I can ask it to make a template. And I was able to generate a template that looked pretty good that they could use to like fill in the blanks, like what you were saying. Like, we've been doing this a long time. So yes, I had like a list of templates of reports or evaluation reports that I would use and do what you were saying, change the names, etc. So it was able to generate something like that. And I mean, I've created every one of my digital products that I offer was created using AI in some way.
Wow. So do you mind going back and kind of like, let's start at the beginning of like getting started with AI. You said like with planning. How would we use AI in planning?
Okay, so the one that I would use for planning would be ChatGPT.
Okay.
Or I just discovered Claude AI, which is similar. Claude, CLAUDE,
Okay.
Claude AI. And it's a similar chatbot to ChatGPT, but it just lays out things differently. And I like it as well. I use it, each one for different things. But if you go in there and you say, can you create a lesson plan for my kindergartners related to dogs? I don't know.
Yeah.
To hit the goal, or that focuses on the goal of describing or labeling, whatever the goal is, right? It will literally create it for you.
Oh, wow.
It will write it up, and it'll give you ideas, and you can ask it to give you the materials, and you can ask it to give you simple materials that I can just find in my speech room and I don't have to buy. Like, you can be very, very specific. And I know the first person that ever purchased my guide messaged me right away and said, oh my gosh, I planned like my whole week in like 10 minutes and I didn't spend a penny. Like, I would have had to buy all these different things or gone and spent hours looking on TPT or different websites, and I was able to plan it. So whatever it is, you're able to just put the prompts in there. And something that I have been teaching lately is the WW approach, which is a prompting approach that I use, that is the who and where you have to specifically describe who you are, what your role is, and then the what. I said that the who and where is the who and what. I don't know if I said who and where.
Who and what?
Who and what, WW.
Okay.
So the who, the role, who you are. So I am a pediatric SLP, right? That works with third graders or K through fourth, whatever it may be. And then the what is, you're going to describe exactly what you wanted to do. So you're going to say, you're going to say create, write, produce, whatever, generate A, B, and C, right? And you're going to be very specific as to what you wanted to do. Create a list of 20 words that are related to spring with their definitions.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And it will give it to you. My coworker, because where I work both telehealth and 2 days in a brick and mortar school here, my partner there was like, oh my gosh, I finally used AI the other day. And she said, I asked it to give me a paragraph loaded with L words for my first graders. And it spit it out. And it was like perfect. Like, I didn't have to do anything to it. And we were just able to use it during therapy. And I was like, yes, I know. So things like that.
I'm just thinking about, although my focus is feeding and swallowing, I also do therapy to keep up my craft in a middle school right now. And I'm just thinking about, can I use AI and ask for a specific reading level? You know how they're like I want high interest, low reading level for some of our kiddos. Yep. And some, because they're once we even upper elementary and above, they don't want silly like baby things. And sometimes it's really hard to find something that is going to help them be successful at their reading level that doesn't look childish, I guess, just.
Correct, yes. So I also have a lot of middle schoolers this year, which is not
Okay.
the norm for me. And a lot of them are in telehealth, so it's even more challenging to keep them interested in what we're doing. There is an AI tool that is called Diffit.
Could you spell that for me?
Diffit.
Diffit. Diffit.
And that one, you can do exactly what you just said. Put in the level, the topic that you want, and it will create the paragraph with the topic and the level that you want.
Like that right there, I can do it tomorrow. That I can't wait. So are a lot of these resources, are they free, or is there a subscription to them?
All the ones that I use are free except for Canva, which Canva is not necessarily an AI tool, but it is a tech tool. And the only reason I pay for it is because I monetize the materials that I make in there. But if you're not monetizing, you can use the free version, or if you have an email with a school, you can get the pro account for free. They offer an educational account.
Wait, I want to make sure I heard that right. Did you say Canva gives you an educational subscription for free if you use your school?
Correct, yes.
I just want to make sure that all the listeners heard that, because I'm all for free, because we all spend so much of our own money just to do our job, which is crazy. There's not a lot of, I don't know any other industry that teaching, of course. Okay, just full stop. Education in itself, it's crazy that those that are working in education, their job in education, we have to spend so much of our own money just to do our job. That's just, I know that's the way it is, and we don't like it. So, but anytime that we can get those tricks and tips. So Canva, y'all, using your school email address, you can get it for free. Okay, I'm going on tomorrow, or I'm going on as soon as we get off here. Yeah, I need that.
Yeah. Yes, and all the other ones that I use are free. I use the free versions, but they all have a pro version. So like if you absolutely love a tool and you think it's worth paying the $6 or the $10 a month, then why not? So I know that someone told me yesterday that they're paying the pro of the ChatGPT, which is $20 a month, and they're able to create pictures in the pro, or the feature. It has that feature in the pro. And it also has, like, you can make it like, be my personal assistant and create A, B, and C. And you can name, like, you can make specific characters in the pro accounts. And so you can have your social media manager, you can have your personal assistants, you can have your whatever. You make like these different characters. And she was funny because she was like, I named one Wilma and I named one, John or whatever. Like she gave each of them a name. But I have not tried it myself. This is something one of my friends told.
That's kind of blowing my mind right now. I'm not sure. I'm baby steps with me with technology. So that's why I'm so glad you're here today, because I need to know how I can be using resources that are out there. So just how to use them, right? So what are some other? Give me some more. So you just said Diffit, Diffit, and that's the one that we can use for reading levels. Is that right?
Reading levels, and it will generate worksheets for you. As well.
Okay.
Like you can pick, like I did one for Black History Month. I asked it to give me a story with 3 paragraphs that included information about 3 African American inventors, and it gave me the full story. And I asked it to give me questions. With questions, vocabulary, and then you can print out the worksheets. Sorry, I also made one for fall. I asked it to give me some fall information. It gave me like a little packet with 6 worksheets that I use. It had vocabulary, it had questions, it had activities, but and it's a free account. I love Magic School AI. Magic School AI. That is my absolute favorite one besides ChatGPT, because it has a lot of educational features and, well, let me see. It has the IEP generator. It has different. I'm trying to think of the layout when I open it. Right.
Yeah.
It just has a lot. I'm trying to think. Maybe I don't know. I should have had it in my hand. But yeah, Magic School AI has like over 70 features.
Oh my
that
God.
you can look at. And you can create social stories. You can come up with modifications. It has behavior plans, like ways to write behavior plans. What's the other one I saw? SEL lessons. Just so many different features.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm not sure. What is SCL?
It's like social and behavioral.
Social communication. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, that was not compute. Maybe it's just been a long day for me. That was not computing. Okay, sorry.
So yeah, it has, although again, it's created more for educators. If you're a school SLP, you're going to find it very useful, because it has a lot of things in there. What's another one that I love? I love a CuriPod, CURIPOD.
CURIPOD.
POD.
Okay.
CuriPod creates slides according to the topic that you give it and the grade level. And you can say like make 15 slides about spring, include some questions, as many questions as you want, include activities, and then it makes the slideshow for you. And you can use it during telehealth, or you can even pull it up on a smart board so that the kids can interact with it. It gives you like a QR code that they can scan, or a number that they can put in if they're in telehealth, and they can use it to interact. I have not used that one with my middle schoolers because they would think it's babyish, but
right, yeah. Okay, so that one's for our elementary and early interventions.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Then some of the other ones that I've discovered lately is Everability for like SOAP notes and report writing, although that one I believe is a paid version.
And what was that one called?
Like Everability.
Everability.
EVER ability. BALT.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I'm trying to go down my AI guide. What else is there? EduAid AI. EDUA. I'm trying to spell them. Now, I totally relate to you when you said that you forget things.
I know, I do. But yeah, you'll get it for us.
EDUAIDE .ai.
So how would you lead us? So this is great. Like these are all, fabulous. Don't get me wrong. These are fabulous ideas for like creating therapy materials. And I want to come back to maybe some more too, but I want to make sure that we talk about like, what's the best way to use AI to help us with like goal setting, goal writing? Is there any tips or tricks that we need to watch out for, or?
For goal writing, you want to be very specific with what you're working, what you want that child to accomplish. So you're going to use, again, that WW approach. You're going to say, I am a school SLP, or I am a high school SLP, and, please write. Then you're going to do the what. Tell it what to do, right? What you need or what you want. Please write a goal for a 10th grader who is having issues with inferencing. And then let it generate and then modify it. You're going to want to modify it and check that it matches what the child needs and what you want. as a therapist for them to accomplish.
Sure. So what I'm hearing is use it to help you drum up ideas. But this is going to actually circle back to why it's not going to take over for us, because we have to make sure that we're reading through it, make sure that it actually is, a SMART goal, that it's going to actually be measuring what it's intended to be measuring. Yeah. So I hear you saying that, because sometimes you're just sitting there like, oh, what am I going to do next? We've already done this. Where should I go next? Drum up some ideas and then use your best clinical judgment and the knowledge of the student to then use just as an idea generator to help you then, okay, I'm going to use, that's a great idea that maybe, because I'm sorry, after work, my brain I'm tired, right? Because have we not all been thinking for other people all day long? That is exhausting to think for others all day long. People don't understand that, yes, maybe we aren't running, or, well, yeah, we are if we're in pre-K or in the younger grades, we are running, but, maybe we're not, running or whatever, but our minds are going so much all day long. We're exhausted. And so I'm hearing what a great way to kind of take a little bit of that load, like just, okay, I need you, AI, to do a little thinking for me. And then, right, spark your creative juices again. Because, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I mean, we're all going to admit that we have looked at goal banks before,
Of course, yes.
Right? Because we have to work smarter, not harder. I mean, if we had to sit there and reinvent the wheel every single time, no one got time for that. So I'm seeing you are bringing it to the table here on how we can really use this for efficiency, but it's not infringing on or taking our jobs away, which I think
definitely not
can't, because it doesn't have a clinical eye, that we need to be using our own lens to make sure that it is going to be an ethical, the efficiency and efficacy of that goal. With anything, I'd love to know, like, if we're going to talk about like using it for documentation, I don't even know how that would work.
Well, let me go back a little bit to the goal. You can also tell it what percentage you want. You can be as detailed as possible.
Okay.
So you can say, I want them to accomplish, 1 out of 5 opportunities and 4 consecutive trials, or whatever you want it to say. And then again, tweak it. And AI is a tool in our toolbox. It is never going to replace our expertise. Never. Never. Because of the reasons you just mentioned before.
I want to make sure those in the back heard it. It is never going to replace us.
No. Documentation you asked me about.
Yeah.
Okay. So documentation as far as progress notes, SOAP notes.
Oh, all of it. Yes, ma'am.
All of it. Okay. So SOAP notes, I don't find it helpful for SOAP notes. I'm just going to be very frank, because most of the time, when we're writing SOAP notes, unless you're going to use, like, Everability has a SOAP notes one, like an area for that. But when we're writing SOAP notes, generally, we're writing it on a system already. Like when I do my telehealth SOAP notes, it's already laid out for me, and I'm kind of just filling it out. Like I can use ChatGPT to create like some templates for me, save it on a Google Doc, and then just kind of cut and paste to cut some time out, right? But in general, SOAP notes is SOAP notes, right? The progress reports, you can definitely, again, put it in there. There is one, Educate AI has a report card comments that I translated it to work for me for progress reports, because I put in the child's goal and a little bit of information, like how he's doing, what the last few sessions my data was, and it'll give you it does give you like It does look like a report card, meaning it'll be like in 4 different sections, almost like a report card comment, like needs improvement, or has achieved, etc. So I don't use the format, but the wording you can
Yeah,
definitely
no,
take it
exactly.
and apply it to what we're doing. So it was not easy to research for tools for AI for us, because whenever you look that up, if you Google it, for the most part, it's going to just give you apps that we use that most of us already know about. Like it gave me like Super Duper, that we already know that it has apps, but that's not what I was looking for. So I had to do a little digging and trial and error and different tools to see what really worked for us. And I do not put anything out there to my audience, to my speech therapy community ever, unless I've tried it out myself, because I want to make sure I'm giving them the information that they're going to be able to use and apply, like you said, the next day, and help them be more efficient and helps them feel like their workload is a little lighter, because like you said, we're using our brain all day long.
Yeah. And it's exhausting.
It is.
And then, I would love to say that I get all my work done during my school day because nobody interrupts me. I'm not getting pulled, on my planning time. I'm never pulled on my lunch, never pulled, we are all, unfortunately, we do find ourselves doing work at home and, we're tired. And so I'm seeing this as a great way just to take a little burden off. It's not doing all the work for us, because of course we're getting paid because of who we are. We are speech language pathologists, and we do need to, we can't, again, it's not going to take over our job, but it will make the job easier in some ways.
So going back to documentation, you can use Magic School AI for IEP generating. It has an IEP generator area. And again, you're going to put in the information, and it generates even goals when you put that. It'll generate the present levels, how it affects the student,
the impact statement?
how it impacts their academics, and then it'll give you some goals. Sometimes they're not good goals, but sometimes they are, and you can, like I said, you're going to modify them, right, and make them what you want it to be. And it also gives you accommodations.
Oh,
which I thought was really cool, because it gives you accommodations for like speech therapy. So it'll be like, use flashcards, or like little tips. The accommodations are more like little tips. And I think that would be really good for like a new therapist, like a brand new therapist.
okay.
Magic School AI also has a lesson plan area. Now that my brain is starting to work, has a lesson plan area that you can put in, like create a lesson plan for my 3rd graders that are working on the R sound. And it'll like give you a little lesson on with ideas. It came up with one for me for winter, and it was like, use cotton balls, for snow, and like hide them around the room. Like it gives you like little ideas like that. That again, if you're brand new or you're tired and you're like, I don't want to think of what to do tomorrow, like let's see what they can come up with, it does definitely help.
So did you say that it also gives you additional resources? I'm just wondering if it would give you book ideas. I don't know.
No, Magic School AI, no, but I'm sure ChatGPT or Claude AI would.
Yeah, just like maybe another format.
Like you're going to want to continue to prompt it. So let's say you get what you have your information for the lesson, right? And now you want, it will ask you at the bottom. It will say, do you want me to give you more ideas? Do you want me to tweak the levels? It'll ask you questions. You can continue to prompt it until you get what you want. So if you wanted a winter lesson, and then you can say include books for this age group, and it'll give you a list of books.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
This sounds like great for new clinicians, as well as us Veteran might be tired. Yeah. All right. If we're talking about, I want to go back to what we can do, but why don't we just take a minute and talk about what are the limitations or things that don't work, what you can't use AI for, perhaps? Kind of a flip that.
I would say what I said before. I don't think it's the best use of time for SOAP notes. I have not found a great one for report writing, unless you're going to, like, if you want a template of a report for like a self or a PLS, you might be able to use it for that, but it's not going to write the report for you. Like, I have not found the tool, and I get asked that all the time. Have you found anything for report writing? No, I have not found one yet for report writing. I found one that has like, you can like click off on things, but it's not going to write the report. I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah, because if it wrote, I mean, but it could write portions of it for us if we're like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, if you put in some information, you can say, write the impressions and give it the information you have, and it might give you that. Or what are some recommendations according to this information, for the recommendations area. And the IEP is a little bit tricky because it can write the present levels. But like, for example, my platform that I use for IEPs, they want you to have the strengths, then the present levels, then the impact.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't provide all those areas. Like, it can provide some of the areas. And you have to put a lot of information in. Like, you want to make sure you put good information so that it can provide you the best, it'll generate the best product or results. What other tasks do we have? I don't know, like for your feeding, I don't know, I haven't used it for that. So maybe for that specific population, it wouldn't be the best.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of materials.
It's maybe not for in the schools. I could see, like, if you're doing some feeding therapy, it could give you some ideas of, what would be a close, if you're going to do some food chaining, even, I'd give you some ideas for that.
Right.
I could see that.
I also, for AAC, because to AAC it's very tech heavy. I found maybe one or two that are helpful, but they're more apps, not so much like it'll do the work for you type of thing, or it'll cut down time. I have not found any fluency ones that are like that will help with that, unless you're going to say, like, plan a lesson for my student who has fluency as a goal and give the detailed information.
Oh, I just had, my last episode was on disfluency and stuttering. And my question was about disclosure statements. I could imagine it could maybe be fun using AI with your student to develop a disclosure statement. It might just be fun. And would you see, is that ethical? What do you think about using the AI itself with the student, an older student maybe?
With what would he be doing on it?
I guess we would be seeing what it generated for us.
If the student used it, I think that's fine.
Yeah, like if we were like, okay, let's think about if we wanted to,
Like if you let him choose the prompts, you mean?
Yeah.
Or the activities, so he can say, write me a story about this or create an activity for this. Yeah, I think why not?
I was just thinking like a way of making it interactive with the student there using AI, and like it could be kind of fun.
I mean, I would see it as if we were using Google to look at something.
Right, yeah.
Or something, yeah.
Sure. I'm always looking at ways of getting student buy-in, and if you're like, okay, today, our word is, the sound that you're working on is L. Okay, so give me what it could be. I see this as something super fun and funny because I'm silly, is okay, what words do we want? Let's see if we can't get it to write us a super funny story with all our L words. And then, right? And then they're going to be wanting to read it. Maybe they want to take it home and read it.
Yes. So that's like a perfect example right there of how you could use it. I also did for my sixth graders, the beginning of the year when we were getting to know each other through telehealth, I did a this or that of different topics because they love that. They like telling you what they think, or what they want or what they like, So I made a this or that about, we did a winter one, we did a going back to school one. I'll do probably a spring one now or a summer one when it's closer to summer. And they like that. They like the this or that, which is similar to what you said.
What do you mean this or that? I guess I'm not.
Oh, okay. This or that is statements that say, would you rather eat chocolate or honey? I don't know. I'm just making up stuff.
No. I guess my brain wasn't working. So would you rather, that's right. Those could be really funny.
Yes,
they do love that. Would you rather lick vomit or earwax?
Yes, exactly.
I do in middle school. It seems like I've got the junior high humor. So I'm going for that. I want the big reactions, gross. Which reminds me of a book called That's Disgusting. One of my colleagues is using the book That's Disgusting. And so that's probably why it's in my mind. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. But I do love the fact that using AI and incorporating the student, I love that for ownership. I could really see and in the moment. So you're not having to listen, ladies and gentlemen, you're not having to pre-generate, okay, what did they give me some words? And then you come back and say, here you go. You're like real time, let's knock it out. And we're doing it together. You just saved yourself time.
Yeah, you can do it during therapy, use it while you're there. Exactly.
I love that. Whenever it can I don't have to pre-think and it can be helping me do it in real time. I love that. That's what we need. Absolutely. Okay.
Something that I just remembered now is Canva has a Canva Magic Write as part of Canva. That is also a writing tool.
Magic Write.
It's a writing AI tool. So Magic Write. It's just part of Canva of the Pro account. And it will give you, you can prompt it and it'll provide written information for you. So the story that you just said with the L words, you could put it in there as well and see if that makes it better or ChatGPT makes it better or Claude makes it better. You can try different ones to see which one you like.
Oh my gosh. And then you could, here I am, because I deal with the upper element, the middle school. So the secondary, I just thought, oh my gosh, perspective taking. All right, we're going to use 2 AI and we're going to see which one do we think is best and why.
Comparison. Yes.
Yes. Compare and contrast. Do you think this was helpful? Bring up a debate.
Yep.
Oh, I'm seeing all sorts of ideas.
So the one thing I'm going to say is this is a lot of information, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. So where do you go with all this information? Okay. So where do you start, right?
Yeah, bring us back.
You're going to want to choose 1 or 2 tasks that take you the longest or that you don't like to do or you find it challenging, whatever it may be. And then find 1 tool at a time, just one. Okay. Because if we do a whole bunch all at the same time, we're going to get overwhelmed. And that kind of takes the fun out of using AI because then you're overwhelmed and that's not what we're trying to avoid, the overwhelm.
We want to underwhelm you people.
Yes. So pick the 1 tool and start there. Start with the prompts, use the WW approach, start prompting it for little things or whatever. If you have 20 ideas, then write them down and do one at a time, And then if you need help, I'm here. You can always reach out to me. I'm very accessible through my DMs, through my email. I always respond. If you have like a specific thing and you're like, I'm stuck, I really don't know where to go or which tool to use, I'm always available to answer the questions. I'm always happy to help.
Do you mind giving us the best way for us to get a hold of you?
So I am very accessible at the Latina SLP on Instagram, and my email.
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with, because I know
both.
Okay.
Both or either. Jennie Belen SLP at Gmail is my email.
So JennieBelen at
SLP.
SLP at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay.
So either one of those, you can always contact me there. And my AI guide, I have a ChatGPT prompting guide as well. Both of those things and a bunch of other resources that I created this year that my audience has asked me for, and then I just started creating it for them, is all available on my Instagram.
And that's on the Latina SLP. That's your
correct
Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, again, so they can go there and they can get the list of. I guess I want a list of all potential AI, because I'm familiar with ChatGPT. I'm going to be honest, that's the only one I'm really familiar with.
Yeah, most people are that one. That's it.
Right, that's the one I know. So then I think the ones that we've I just kind of want to go back and kind of list out the ones that we've talked about today, because we kind of went all over the place. I know, so ChatGPT, okay, everyone did that one. I think I did the Diffit, because that one kind of resonated with me. Diffit, the Diffit. Then you indicated...
You have Magic School AI.
Magic School AI. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Claude, you said Claude AI, which is CLAUDE AI. I just want to make sure that our listeners, because they, this way they can, we were saying them pretty fast. So I thought maybe we could just go back, and you said Canva Magic Write was one that but that one you said you have to have Canva Pro. But you said now Canva Pro.
Correct. Or the Educator.
Oh, say that again. What was Educator?
Canva Pro comes with the Educator.
Canva Pro. And did you also say that Canva Pro we could get free if we use our school email? Cha-ching!
Correct.
Okay,
yes.
winner, chicken dinner, ladies and gentlemen. That is a big takeaway for me. I'm definitely going to check that one out. So I want to say, I wrote something down that ended in pod, but then I don't think I got that completely. Curry pod. Oh, curry pod? Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm hungry and I'm wanting a curry pot. So no, I need to go eat. But so it's not that, it's curry pod. CURI. Did I do that right? CURI.
Yes,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a couple that started with an E.
Eduaid AI.
Eduaid AI. And was there an Everbility?
Everbility.
Okay, I just want to make sure we were getting all of those. Absolutely. And then, all right. So now that we're all like, oh my God, there's so many things that I need to go do right now. No, ladybugs. We are going to do one thing. So we just gave you a list of 8 different AIs options. And you're saying, okay, slow your roll, choose one. And then you said to choose, go through that again. What do you want us to take away today? What's the first thing you want us to do?
Pick the task that you're having the most challenges with.
I couldn't remember. Sorry. I should have said, I can't remember what you said. Okay.
And then pick one of the AI tools and start exploring it and using it and see if it benefits you, if it helps you in your role, because we all have different roles within our SLP world. And then go from there. And if you need assistance, my Instagram account, the Latina SLP, has a bunch of tutorials on it that you can binge on. And
Love
you can
it.
always reach out and you can ask me whatever you want. I'm always available to answer any questions. And the AI guide has a full list. It has more than 20 different ones that they can explore as well. The AI guide does.
So your AI guide has 20 lists of what?
It has over 20 different AI tools with the description, what it'll help them with, the website. It has 15 different ways you can use AI, and it has prompts as well. And I'm working on adding more stuff, but that's what it has in it right now.
And you were telling me that we right here, everyone listening, can go on to your Latina SLP, and that's where they're going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that is amazing. That is amazing. I love this. All right. I don't think so. We know that what we can use AI for, and I like the thought that, we all have different strengths and weaknesses. And so some of us are going to be like, okay, I'm going to have it help me write some parts of the report. Maybe can't do the full report, but if writing is not your strong suit, to go ahead and have it help you generate some ideas or even some words, especially when we realize that we're writing a report and we're using the same word over and over and over again. I know that we could go and use, a thesaurus, but it might be fun for them to rewrite the sentence for you. So if our sentence structure seems to be the same, can just zhuzh up. I like the idea of having AI zhuzh up my idea. Because, it really is our clinical judgments, but it can be judged. I love that.
Sure.
Right? Talk about goals. Give me some ideas for goals. And I think we talked about, what it can't do is replace us. I think that's one of the biggest takeaways, is that we do know that, it is there to help us, to get us jump started, especially if we've got that writer's block, but it's not there to replace us. And that I do want to make sure that we hit the ethical part about it. And I think you mentioned it several times, and I think it bears repeating, that when you are using an online source, never to add students identifying information. Is there anything else that that's pretty much the biggest thing, really, is that we would.
That is the biggest one, yes.
Is making sure that you're not using the student's name. I love it. Jennie, this has been amazing. And I love that you came on. I love the fact that you are also presenting on Sunday. So if you want even more on AI, she'll be presenting on Sunday at the Spring Into Learning, and you'll find that on Speech Therapy PD. So jump on a Speech Therapy PD to see that. This has been so fun. I've learned so much because I haven't really used AI except for like ChatGPT. And so you've given me really some excitement. I'm excited to go check some other things out, especially Canva for me, now that I can use my school email. Awesome. I love it. I can't believe that we are going to have to wrap it up. All right. I want to thank everybody that has tuned in today. And I really hope that I see everybody in our next episode. All right, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thanks for joining me this week. If you have a moment, please subscribe and review the School of Speech podcast on whatever platform you listen to. It really, truly helps a ton. And I would love to hear what you think. All right, guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.